Hey clowns, welcome back to Crimelia Street. I'm Sam.
And I'm Tori, and we are gathered here today
Mm-hmm. Yep.
on a
For
Friday.
on a Friday, episode 31, I believe.
I think so, yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Sam is tonight. How did you get this entire title in here?
I don't know. It took
Because I
me
feel like I tried. Sam tonight is chance of snow on the beach. That's so funny. I had not seen that until just now, and we were just talking about chances of snow tomorrow.
right, exactly. I thought that's why you brought it up actually. So, yeah, so we might have snow tomorrow, which is pretty crazy. We're in Central Florida, so yeah.
Yeah, we don't get that often. I'm actually going to go stay at my mom's on the coast tomorrow night because I'm going to be in that area anyway Sunday, and I kind of want to. I'm like, if I have to be there Sunday morning, may as well go Sunday night, and
hmm
maybe I'll stay up late editing, sitting on the back porch, see if I can catch a snow flurry.
Yes, absolutely. So like if you see snow and you're on the beach, I mean we need pictures, we need it will
Good
be
point.
like a moment. It's gonna be a moment for you. So
Not all the
that's
way on
cool.
the coast. I will be like an
Oh, okay.
hour from the beach still, but
Oh, true.
closer
Closer
to the
than
beach
we are
than
right
where I am
now.
now.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Tonight, Tori, her name is seen this film before.
And
Do pray tell. Mm-hmm.
it would not let me put I think I've seen this film before, which that's why I'm a little jealous of your name here because it
All
looks
these
I'm about to
right.
count these characters. I'm about to count these characters.
Exactly. It's supposed to be under 30, right?
I think so, yeah. I couldn't have been much over. So, this actually unfortunately relates to this case that we're covering tonight,
Oh.
where it's kind of like Jose Gaspar, where man gets put on pedestal for not great reasons. And it just
Mm.
feels like I've seen that film before.
Ah, yep, yep, we know
Actually, our
that.
last episode, I saw that film.
Right. Yes. We know the story all too well. So,
I'll try to keep this episode down to 10 minutes then.
Crimelia Street version.
Yes. CS version.
CS version. Wow. I like it. I like it. Okay.
Just a bunch of mom jokes over here.
Yes, yes.
So that feels like a good segue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tonight we are covering a listener requested case of Lorena Bobbitt.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Our first listener submission request.
So what have you heard about the case? It's okay if you don't know the whole story. I'm just like wondering what you have heard about it.
I know that of the incident where an appendage was thrown maybe onto a field, a pasture of some kind, and a
A
search.
penis.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
penis.
Yes. And there was a search and it was found. And I think there might be I don't know if this is true, but he later on went to become an adult film star or something like that. I don't know. That's
Mhm.
just kind of what I know. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Pretty
All
much.
accurate. All accurate. Yes.
Wow. I'm ready. I'm excited for this.
Trigger warning for this episode for physical and sexual abuse. So many people have heard of the story of Lorena Bobbitt. She was a household name in the 1990s. This case received sensationalized news coverage when it happened. A woman cuts off her husband's penis and throws it in a field. The media had a field day. Like, what better story can you ask for, honestly? Especially in, like, the time of the 1990s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This all took place in 1993 when daytime talk shows were a really big thing and before there was a lot of sensitivity to women suffering and domestic violence. The media ran away with the sensational story of Lorena cutting off John's penis, but not many in the media were addressing or even asking why she would do that. Lorena Gallo or Gallo, it's Gallo, and I know in Spanish that could be Gallo or Gallo.
Right.
I don't know. Probably Gallo? I don't know. But she was born October 31st, 1969. Great year. Nice. Sorry. She was born in Ecuador and then raised in Venezuela. In Latin culture, quinceañera is a huge thing. It's when a girl turns 15. Boys also have one, I found out. It's called a quinceañero, but obviously it would have been quinceañera for Lorena. They're traditionally super lavish and over-the-top celebrations. Lorena's family didn't have a ton of money, so they weren't able to throw her a huge quinceañera for her birthday. So she asked instead to take a trip to the US. So her first time coming to the US was when she was a teenager, and she loved it. When she graduated from high school, she then enrolled in an American college and came to the US on a student visa. Lorena was 18 years old when she came to the States, and she was living with some family friends who were in Virginia. They were the Castros. Lorena knew no English when she came to the States, so she enrolled in some ESL courses at her college where she learned to speak English and also learned from watching daytime TV shows like soap operas. This is like the golden era of soap operas too. My mom still watches General Hospital.
Wow. That's
Like every day.
amazing. It's wild how long they've been running for. Like The Young and the Restless. Like they have
Dude.
storylines going on literally like 30 years.
I know. And like I see some of the actors and the ones who haven't switched actors for the same characters 15
Right.
times. But I'll see some of the actors and I'm like, "Oh my God, like I remember this actor when I was a child playing this
Right.
role." It's just crazy
Yeah.
how long standing they are. And the
Yeah.
fact that they still are happening.
Right. Daily. Like 5 days a week.
That is some funding.
Right. And some
I think-
writing. No wonder like
Right.
people like miraculously like come back to life and stuff.
And the writing isn't, you know.
Right. Like
Top
they will
part.
be buried. And it's
Yes.
like they'll have a funeral and everything, and then it'll be like they show up.
He's
like
been living on a boat
Right.
in Antarctica.
Got plastic surgery. Changed his whole face. Shaved his bones down. Got shorter. I don't know.
Different
That's
color
crazy.
eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, actually, was it Nicholas Barclay?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that in my mind. Yes, with the contacts or whatever it was. Yeah.
They said they injected his eyes
oh,
or
to
something.
make him. Yeah.
That was crazy. Okay.
That was wild. Mm-hmm.
So, John Wayne Bobbitt was born in Buffalo, New York in 1967. There's not a ton out there about his upbringing, but he does share in a documentary about this case on Amazon called Lorena, which is great. I got most of my information from there. If anyone wants a deeper dive, watch that. It's really good. And it's a 4-part series. I think the episodes are kind of long. They might be over an hour, but really good information. And I think they did a good job with it. So John says in an interview in that documentary that he did have a bit of an unstable upbringing. He witnessed his father physically abusing his mother. Sounded like they moved around homes quite a bit and like who the caretaker of the children was. He also had a pedophile uncle who would abuse him and some of the boys that he lived with as well. So not a great childhood.
Right.
John ends up enlisting with the Marines in a station at Camp, I never know how to say this. It's in a lot of like lawsuit settlements. Camp Lejeune while
Yep.
enlisted. That's it.
Yeah.
After meeting, they began dating. Lorena's parents were very strict, so they were only allowed to go on chaperoned dates, which is just kind of cute. Very old school.
Mm-hmm.
The Castros were their chaperones. That was the family friends, as Lorena's parents were and immediate family were still in Venezuela. The Castro's daughters immediately did not like John. He always forgot his wallet when they would go on dates, so Lorena almost always ended up footing the bill.
Hmm.
And they also thought he just drank too much.
Okay.
Lorena was smitten by him, though, and just believed him when he said he forgot his wallet. I think to understand her perspective, you kind of have to put yourself back in in the shoes when you had your first love.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like over the moon. She's like captivated by his blue eyes and just thought he was so handsome and just felt super deeply for him.
Yeah, he could do no wrong, you know,
Yes.
in her
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. After 10 months of dating, one day they went to the military pool. John was swimming and found a gold ring with a bow on it at the bottom of the pool.
Okay, I'm getting ready for this.
He emerged from the water and proposed to Lorena with it.
It's giving ring on a string or something.
And just to be clear, this was someone else's ring that they had lost in the pool.
Oh,
And he found it and proposed to her.
Johnny boy. Okay.
I think Lorena was even a little confused by the situation because she was like, if you're sure and you really mean it, because I just think it was like kind of a bizarre thing. She was like, then I say yes. Right. Spur of the moment. For sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So they're engaged. In June of 1989, they married. Lorena was 20 and John was 22. And they settled down in Manassas, Virginia. And you can look at photo 1. So this was a picture at their wedding. So let's jump forward a few years to 1993. June 23rd, 1993 to be specific. John had been out drinking with a friend who was currently staying with the Bobbitts. When John and his buddy came home, they were both pretty intoxicated, and John says he went to sleep. Around 5 a.m., Lorena gets up, goes to the kitchen, grabs a knife from the kitchen, goes into the room, and cuts his penis off entirely.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was so drunk and numb when it happened that he didn't even realize what had happened right away. He actually just laid there in bed for a few minutes before going to his friend who was staying over and trying to get his friend to call 911 for him.
Oh my gosh. I just like I don't have one, but it's almost like you could oh my gosh. Ew. That's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. I mean, any like amputation, situation is rough. But yeah, you'd think it'd be a little sensitive.
And like with a kitchen knife. I mean, I wonder how sharp that was.
I know. It was a very clean cut.
Okay.
Yeah, very clean cut, which is startling.
God.
There was like a joke in the documentary that she should go on to be a doctor because how clean the cut was.
Right. Surgical precision.
Right.
Wow.
When he did get to his friend was also so drunk that his friend didn't realize the severity of the situation and was like trying to brush his teeth and stuff before getting John medical attention.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
I keep on trying to find something to say. It's just so oh my gosh. It's just wild. It is truly wild. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eventually, John and his friend do call 911. Dispatchers to the officers were very careful with what they said over the dispatch radio because they knew media surveilled those lines and they were sure that media would have a field day with this. So one of the dispatch people told officers that someone needs to get over there right away to help this man save his dignity.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say something else.
When police arrived at the house, there were pamphlets regarding rape and spousal abuse found in the home. Police were told that they needed to try to find the appendage as soon as possible in hopes that they would be able to reattach it. So officers were frantically searching for John Wayne's penis. It's just like, it's a silly sentence.
Right. Words you never think that you would say.
Certainly, nope. After Lorena cut his penis off, she was in a state of shock. She got in her car and just started driving. She explained she realized at one point that she was struggling to drive, and she had this thing in her hand, and she had this thing in one hand, the knife in the other, and she couldn't drive very well, so she just threw the penis out the window.
Oh my gosh. It's not, I mean, senseless violence is never funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the everything about the situation. Can you just picture someone just driving like that? It's like,
The imagery of the situation is
Right.
something.
Right.
It's hard not.
That is something. It's
not
hard not
to
to
giggle. Yeah.
Mhm.
So also, I would say not senseless, but we haven't gotten there yet.
True. Okay, cool. I mean, not cool, but
Right. Lorena then drove to her place of work in the middle of the night and was trying to get inside. She was like in this state of shock. I don't think she totally understood that, like, no, the work is closed right now. And it was here in the trash can next to her place of work that she threw the knife away. Then she went to her friend/boss's house, Jana. After telling Jana what had happened, Lorena then went to the police station to report the abuse she'd endured from John Wayne Bobbitt. The officer asked her what she did with the penis, saying that that was the most urgent matter.
okay.
Mm-hmm. She remembered tossing things out of the car and mentioned a 7-Eleven and an intersection near where she tossed it. She also told them where the knife was, and police were able to retrieve that as well. Officers went to the intersection near where Lorena had described throwing his penis out of the window and were searching in the fields for it. And one of the officers actually found it by stepping on it.
Okay. All right.
Now, this we can't put on YouTube, but if you want to see it, you don't have to look at it. There is a photo of the severed penis. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's wild.
Yeah.
It looks so small. But that's just like it does though, like I'm sure it's not like it was like the whole thing. And to be able to even find it.
I think that's, yeah, most people's first reaction when it was my first reaction, at least, when I saw that too. I was like, oh, just
Right.
that's so weird.
Like needle in a haystack, like, you know?
Yeah.
That's just what I would think. But
the police were so unprofessional when they found it. The officer who found it refused to touch it and was just like pointing at it.
too gay.
It's too gay. Yeah. So eventually the officers were able to manage getting it on ice. They got the ice from a gas station. I think it was like put in a hot dog bag or something. And then the ice, and then they put the penis on the ice and then brought that to, I guess, the hospital, wherever it needed to go. The difference between the men, like the police officers and the men's reactions involved in this case versus like the women who are like mostly the nurses involved in the case was stark. The men were like so concerned about getting the penis back on this man. And like that was like the main concern. Like,
Right.
this man has lost all his dignity and we have to put it back. And the women are over there thinking, what did he do to her to make
Right.
her do that to him? So it's just so
Mm-hmm.
interesting seeing that the difference in the genders dynamics. How many
Right.
how many clits have been cut off? And it doesn't stop the news
Right.
cycle, you know, like the news cycle doesn't stop
Yeah.
for that. And I know I've heard
Yeah.
about it in a couple
Mm-hmm.
cases.
Oh yeah.
So
For
some of the more
sure.
brutal ones, probably ones that I couldn't cover personally, but
Right.
um
Right. No, that's a fair point. Absolutely.
yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. A rape kit was administered for Lorena at the hospital. She said that John raped her many times during their marriage and that the more she told him no and that she didn't want his sexual advances, the more he seemed to want it.
Mm.
The media went crazy over the whole thing. Lorena and John Wayne Bobbitt became household names. Everyone involved seemed to be on the daytime talk shows. This reminds me of the Faye Yeager case for that reason. I was like, all the talk shows are involved, and I forget what that
Right.
time was like. We're so far past it.
Mm-hmm.
People don't even pay for cable anymore,
Right. Right.
except my mom because she doesn't want to miss General Hospital.
I can respect that. Wow. Yeah.
So there's a talk show that John went on with his brothers. His brother Todd was asked what his reaction was to Lorena cutting off John's penis, and Todd says, "If I had seen her, I would have killed her." And the men in
Okay.
the right, and the men in the audience erupted into applause.
Jeez.
It's very unsettling.
Yeah. Yikes.
He then goes on to say that he was actually he went out looking for her that night.
Isn't
And
that some kind of crime?
you would think the 90s were a wild time. I feel like, I mean, just going on daytime television saying that out loud, I feel like you couldn't do that these
Mm-hmm.
days.
Right.
Thank God he didn't find her. Brett, his other brother, was also on the show. The host asked if they think that she tried to kill him, and they said she did worse by taking away his manhood.
Oh, brother. Please.
Like,
Get over
while
it.
and like while John is sitting right next to them, they say that too. And it's just wild to me. It's like she did worse than kill him. Like, you're with him right now.
Right. Right.
Like,
You would
ew.
rather he?
Fucking gross.
Rude.
And rude. Yeah. I like that you did the eye roll for me because I had just biggest eye roll written in my notes there.
Nice.
But yeah, you
Uh,
picked up on that.
this is crazy.
So there are going to be two upcoming trials involving this incident. One would be for John Wayne Bobbitt, who is facing charges for malicious assault against Lorena, and one where Lorena would be going to trial for malicious wounding against John. Jana, Lorena's friend and boss, had hired a lawyer for her and also a Hollywood agent media rep because that's how crazy everything was with
Mm-hmm.
the media. Her friend also like owned the salon that she worked at and like owned a couple salons, so she was well off, I think.
Mm-hmm.
John's trial was first. They were trying to decide, I think, exactly what to charge him with. So one of the options was spousal rape, but in Virginia at the time, to prove spousal rape, which had a life sentence, there were two requirements that needed to be met. One was that you needed to be separated at the time, or you had to cause physical permanent damage to be accused of spousal rape.
What?
Physical permanent damage. Like, what the
That's
fuck?
crazy.
It's barbaric.
Like, what? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's insane.
absolutely insane. Otherwise, it's like you're married She agreed to it when she said, I
Right.
do.
Yeah, that must mean permanent consent, according to them.
Right. Absolutely disgusting. Um,
Wow.
so they ended up charging him with malicious sexual assault instead, which had a 20-year sentence instead of a life sentence. I guess that was just more provable.
Hmm.
So both of the trials happened in Manassas, which was a very small town in Virginia, which was now receiving this nationwide, global even attention. At the trials, people were even selling merch with t-shirts on it and stuff, just like locals from around the town. It said like, I think one of the sayings was Manassas, Virginia, a cut above the rest, and there's like a bloody knife on it. Just like really
Oh my
lame.
gosh. Right. You can do better.
Right. There was one a boxers too. I forget what the saying was on the boxers, but it was something about a cut too, and it's just
Yikes.
leaves something to be desired in the humor world, I would say.
Hmm.
So the judge decided during John Wayne's trial that the long history of abuse that Lorena was claiming she had suffered would not be admissible for trial, and that they were only able to talk about the 5 days prior to the incident, which is
Hmm.
kind of crazy. Like, I could almost more so understand that in her trial, where she's going for, and I'm not a lawyer, so I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but like,
Hmm.
where she's being accused of actually harming him. Like, I don't understand why his trial of malicious assault that night is cut to only 5 days before. It seems like the long history of abuse would be more pertinent and important to his case because he's being charged of abuse or
Right.
assault.
Right. That is odd for sure.
And same judge,
And
too,
why
in
five?
both.
Yeah. And why 5 days? Like, that's just odd.
Yep. So, yeah, that was just crazy to me. Lorena described having been raped and choked by her husband the night of the incident and the night before, and also 5 days before. So, in the 5 days, 3 times of abuse.
Is that enough? Jeez.
Well,
Anyway.
it's not.
Uh.
So John Wayne was found not guilty because the case was so circumstantial and it was just her word against his that the jury felt like they couldn't convict. Someone
Hmm.
from the jury did say that if there was a witness who like heard screams or something, like they would have felt better about it, but there were no witnesses. It was just her word against his, so they felt like they couldn't convict. And only 5 year or 5 days. It's like I
Right.
can't wrap my head around why the judge decided that, but
Right. That sucks.
it does, yeah. The whole country is just making a joke out of the whole thing, too. Many comedians were doing stand up routines referencing the event, and like many of the routines were very racist and quite frankly, just like not tasteful. It's like low hanging fruit, exaggerated
Hmm.
accents, and most of them are just implying that Lorena is this hot blooded Latina woman. Again, the 90s were a wild time.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of the 90s, Howard Stern had a New Year's girl pageant where he had a fundraiser for John Wayne Bobbitt. And I've seen conflicting numbers over the amount that was raised, but it was somewhere between 190,000 and 125,000 was raised for John Wayne Bobbitt. And they had this like penis meter that they were like keeping it track of the amount.
Oh, oh my
It was so
gosh.
over the top and just like
Yeah.
I don't know, just making such a joke out of this
Hmm.
this event. Lorena admits that she struggled with the jokes and fell into a depression around this time. Before Lorena's trial, John actually ends up going on tour.
Uh, wow.
Like full on tour. There was merch, all of it. I don't know. I guess he just spoke up on stage.
Yeah, it was the like a mall
Was it
tour, like
was it stand up, right? A mall tour.
bookstore. uh,
Yeah, just like it's so gross that he's like capitalizing on this.
right. And here she is, like her whole trauma about everything that all for nothing, all for them to say, well, we can't prove it anyway. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that
Yep.
sucks. So people were mostly, they were against her and kind of for him, or was it?
I think at this point, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that was due to her not being able to bring up the long history of abuse in that
Yeah, the
trial. Because
trial.
they were both televised, both the trials. And this is like at the beginning, very beginning, early days of trials being televised.
Mm-hmm.
It was like court TV was super new at the time still. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I think because of the lack of her being able to bring that up, like a lot of people thought, oh, it was a lot easier for people to say she could just be lying.
Right, right. Yeah.
So Lorena's trial was initially December 23rd of 1993, but it got moved to January because they felt like viewership would be a little too low right before Christmas.
The holidays. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
of
Yep.
course.
So we'll move it to January. They did. Lorena was offered a plea bargain if she admitted that what she did was premeditated. She would do only 4 months in jail and then she could get off, but she would be pleading guilty to a felony. She did not accept the plea bargain because she knew if she pled guilty to a felony, she would never be able to become an American citizen, and she wanted to become an American citizen, so she risked 20 years in prison instead of taking the plea bargain.
Wow.
It's brave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lorena's trial began in January of 1994. The biggest difference in Lorena's trial versus John's trial was that she was able to talk about the long-term history of abuse that she suffered from John. On that note, we're going to skip back from 1994 to 1989, right after the two were married.
Mhm.
They were happy for a small time, but when John's enlistment in the military ended, he couldn't seem to keep a job. He tried a bunch of jobs, just couldn't keep one. He was like a bouncer at a club. He was doing everything. And I don't think it was that he was working super hard and like he just had bad luck. I think it was that he really didn't give a shit. He was also like
Mhm.
a pretty strong alcoholic and just drank a lot. And I think he honestly, in my opinion, I think he just liked that Lorena was doing all the work and paying the bills and he could just go drink.
Yeah.
Lorena worked as a manicurist, so she wasn't making amazing money herself. They had bought a small house together, which ended up getting foreclosed on because she wasn't able to make the payments herself and he wouldn't keep a steady job. At one point, even at one point she even stole money from her employer, and this is the same employer that is like paying for her lawyers and stuff now. So like her employer really believed Lorena as to why she did these things to be able to still support her after this. But she
Oh,
stole
for
something,
sure.
I think it was like $7,000 that she stole
Oh,
from her
damn.
employer.
Yeah.
And I think they worked something out where she was paying it back in installments.
Mm-hmm.
She also stole some dresses from Nordstrom. And the dresses she didn't steal for financial gain, but she stole them because John kept telling her how ugly she was and she wanted to be pretty for him.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. Side note, she's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
She was what was considered like the trendy pretty in the early 90s as well. Like small, petite, probably 90 pounds soaking wet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just a beautiful person.
Yeah, she's beautiful for sure.
During this time when she was suffering this abuse, she didn't tell her family in Venezuela because she didn't want them to know what was really going on in her marriage. She talked about feeling like a failure, which I can understand. I felt like that a lot too when I was going through my divorce. And I know that that's like not the case, but it's just hard not to feel that way.
Right, right. Yeah. It's not like the reality. You're just like internalizing like the stuff that's happening and yeah.
Right. About a month after they had gotten married, they had been at a club, they were driving home, and he was driving drunk, speeding. She told him to stop because she was scared and she grabbed the steering wheel. He punched her in his chest, in her chest. His brother was in the back seat and was shaking his head yes, telling John he did the right thing. Yep. Yeah. When they got home, the abuse continued. An officer was called to their residence, and she said as soon as the officers showed up that John's entire demeanor changed. The officer asked her if she had somewhere to go that night. There wasn't, in this time too, this was like before, there really wasn't many like domestic violence shelters set up. There wasn't like hotlines to call. Women were just out there having to raw dog this shit, honestly. There was no help or support structure. There weren't legislation. There was nothing really to support. Obviously, I mean, to prove spousal rape, you had to cause permanent damage.
Yeah,
Or
that
be
is
separated.
wild.
You literally can't just say, no, I don't want it.
Right. Ugh. That must have been like
So,
terrifying for her.
right. I mean, it's so hard even with those things in place to get out of a
Mm-hmm.
situation like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she's like in a country where she wasn't born. Like it's not, she's new to the country. She doesn't have her
that too.
family there. Like she's all alone. So,
Pretty isolated. Yeah. And she did
hmm
mention too that he did like kind of cut her, like socially isolate her
hmm
as well, which she didn't realize at the time. Now it's like that stuff is told to us. Like we know that that's a red flag,
hmm
but there just wasn't as much awareness about it at the time.
Right. Right.
Um, so when the officer came, he asked her if she had somewhere to go. So pretty much all they would do is be like, y'all gotta go separate ways for tonight.
hmm
And she said no, but she said that she would leave anyways. And she left and slept in her car in the parking lot of her job that night.
Oh, yeah.
In 1990, Lorena got pregnant. John essentially told her that they weren't ready for a child and that she had to choose between him and the baby.
Yikes.
And during his interview in the documentary about this, he like alludes to the fact that she just wanted everything so fast, and she was from South America, so she didn't know how to live within her means, he said.
What?
And it's like, what does that even mean, dude?
Right. Right. It sounds like she's just trying to live her life with her husband.
Dude, I can't believe he did that documentary. I feel like he thought he was like making himself look good in it, and
hmm
he's saying shit like that, and it's like, oh, you're showing who you really are. I can't believe you came on camera and did this.
It's bold.
It certainly is, yeah. And the like ego of him to think he's making himself look good by
Right.
saying those things. Or it's not even ego, the like distorted reality. I don't know.
Right. Right. Ugh. Weird.
Weird.
Wild.
Oh,
hmm
jinx.
I know, right? That's what.
So, yeah, he said that you have to choose between me or the baby and that she can't have this child. He told her that he has to go do what bad girls do by getting an abortion. And then the whole time, he pretty much brought her to the clinic against her will. And the whole time, he's teasing her about like the needles that they're going to use, how big the needles are going to be, and how they're going to put her to sleep, and that the
What?
needles are gonna like hurt her bones and stuff like that. Like, so cruel.
What a monster. Oh my gosh. What? Oh,
Yeah, just so cruel.
right. Like you have to be seriously sick in the head to treat someone like that.
Right.
Like there is something wrong with you.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I think there is. So he pretty much brought her there against her will, and nurses eventually saw the state that he was putting her in and actually took her away from him. She was shaking, and they could just tell that he was making her super anxious. I'm sure
hmm
they know this is already like a hard thing for a woman to go through. So, anyways, they ended up separating her from him and like prepping her for the operation, and they gave her some meds to calm her down. She did express that she had like pretty severe feelings of guilt after this, and she was pretty depressed after the abortion. And she's also very religious too. So I think that
hmm
that was very hard for her.
hmm
He would just constantly degrade her with comments about her body and her race. And it's
It's
like,
like, why get married to someone that you clearly like hate?
right. And I think it's because he felt like she was vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't know a lot of people, you know, she didn't have a lot of dating experience. She's in this
Mm-hmm.
country away from her family.
Mm.
I think she was like a good victim for him.
Ugh, yeah.
When they would fight, he threatened to take away her immigration status and tell her she's going to get sent back to South America and that she doesn't belong here. In the documentary, some of their neighbors were interviewed, and they all said that they always saw John being domineering over her. When they would leave the grocery store, she would be carrying all of the heavy bags, and he'd just be like walking behind her. And that he was always the one yelling, that they heard yelling like through the walls. There was another incident where John and Lorena went to some kind of Christmas gathering, and he gave her a present, which she initially like didn't want to open in front of people, and he kept like kind of pushing her. He's like, "Oh, open it," and she did, and it was lingerie, and she was super embarrassed by that, and she was a little upset because she was embarrassed, and he threw her up against the wall in front of these people at this party that they're at.
Wow.
Police had been called to their home a half a dozen times, and there were police records and photos of Lorena's physical abuse. Her friends and clients had also seen marks from the abuse on her body. He had been arrested during the time that they were together and had charges of assault and battery that he pled guilty to while they were together. And it's just crazy that none of this was admissible in that first case.
Hey, it's not like there was just no record of it and they're trying to get her to give a testimony for all these years after the fact. It's like this has been thoroughly documented the whole time.
Yeah.
And for the judge to not even look at that is wild.
It's crazy. It so much plays into his case, I feel like.
Right. Ugh.
So back to the trial, to Lorena's trial in January of 1994. Because they were able to talk about the long history of abuse, the defense brought up several witnesses who stated that they had heard screams during sexual assaults that John had done to Lorena. They saw abuse of Lorena physically on her body, saw marks after her abuse. The amount of witnesses was crazy that they brought up. And I know I keep harping on it, but it's just like so mind-boggling to me that like none of that could have been included against him. Because I mean, some of the witnesses were his friends who testified against him.
Wow.
Yeah, he thought he was just having like locker room talk with these guys. He told his friends that he liked to make girls squirm and bleed.
Is this a serial killer? Like, have we ran his DNA through the system? Because
Actually, great question.
This is concerning.
Yeah, dude. And I think when he said bleed, I think he was referring to like anal sex.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm not totally sure about that. But he pretty much told his friends who testified against him in court that he liked to forcibly have sex with women, and the other bit that I mentioned.
Is crazy. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think she didn't cut off enough if there's any more.
Right. It was a little small. Is there more?
Right. Yeah, it's okay.
Fuck this guy, dude. This is actually one of the cases that I wish we could have researched together. We could have had some like good discussions, I feel like, over it if we both knew it, you know, about it coming in. But like this one
is just like a crazy case.
Yeah.
Okay.
He enjoyed anal sex, and Lorena said that when he'd come home drunk at 3 or 4 in the morning that she knew what he was going to do to her. Watching some of the footage of Lorena having to testify against him on the stand in front of a room full of strangers, like for their judgment, was really hard to see.
Yeah.
The way she reacts when she's on the stand having to give the details of her rape was, you can see an immediate change in her demeanor. especially when they got to like the more graphic parts. At one point, she's nearly hyperventilating. It just really seems like someone who has experienced trauma. It doesn't seem like this is some, some people are like, oh, maybe they rehearsed, to have her tell the story in that way. I don't know. Maybe they did, but like she genuinely seemed traumatized.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When he goes on the stand, he denies everything that she says happened to her. He says he's held her down and pushed her, but he never hit her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like that's okay, John. Like that's not okay.
Yeah.
There was some form. I'm not sure like why he had to fill out this form. There was no like details given on the background of it, but there's a form that he filled out that the defense brings up during the court hearing that he had filled out when he was with the Marines. It had his signature on it saying that he had struck his wife. And they're like, you don't remember any of this? You don't remember filling the form out? You don't remember signing it with your own name? And he's like, nope, I don't remember it. So I think the defense did a really good job there in breaking his credibility.
Yeah,
it's like,
for sure. Just because you don't remember it doesn't mean it didn't happen all of a sudden. So.
Right. And now we can't believe anything that you don't remember because that is solid proof.
Right.
And there was also times like police officers went on the stand to say that like they had gone over and like he was super drunk and she was hurt. And he's like, yeah, I don't remember that.
Of course you don't.
Yeah. So they did a really good job at showing like his selective memory.
Yeah.
I think.
That's good.
They also asked him if he had had sex with her that night, the night that he raped her, according to her, and I believe her. And he says he can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
He says he like got home and he remembers being on top of her, but then he thinks he just fell asleep.
Okay. Okay, John.
Yeah. I think I've seen this film before.
Yep.
Oh, I just can't remember. Yeah. But there's another case we covered where we were talking about how I can't remember what it was, but we have seen this film before.
Yeah.
So the defense pretty much needed to prove they were going to try to use the defense called irresistible impulse, which is almost like pleading temporary insanity. It's just like there's this impulse that like you just couldn't resist in that moment. It was like you snapped almost.
Right.
So Lorraine,
not that I love that. Anyway, sorry.
it is, yeah. And I could see
what's the phrase?
Irresistible impulse.
Irresistible. Okay.
And I could see someone having an irresistible impulse after having to put up with this dude for so long.
Absolutely.
So Lorena says the night of the incident, John came home drunk and forced himself on her yet again. She gives very graphic, very hard to hear details, which she had to. I can't imagine how hard it is to do that in a room full of strangers, especially like the anal sex part of it all. I mean, she was a virgin before marrying him. So this is, she is super religious and having to talk about all this, like, not super religious. She's pretty religious and having to talk about this, like, in front of a room full of strangers so that they can judge you. I just can't imagine how hard that has to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
She said through sobs on the stand that she was in so much pain that it felt like her vagina was ripping apart. After the assault, she went to get water to calm down. She even asked him to, like, why do you keep doing this to me? Do you want to hurt me? And he talks about it. He remembers that part somehow. He talks about that in the doc. It's like, well, why would she be asking you that, John?
Right.
And he's saying in the documentary, I don't know. She was trying to talk to me. I was just trying to go to sleep. Like she's trying to talk about mowing the lawn or something.
Wow. Ugh, I hate this guy.
Fuck him. After the assault, she went to get water to calm down. She had the refrigerator open, and the refrigerator light was shining on a knife. She said she had a flash of all the terrible things he's done to her, and then she grabbed the knife. The next thing she remembers is being in her car, and she didn't quite understand why she couldn't drive with this thing in her hand and the knife. She knew that she had cut him. She knew that's why she had this in her hand, but she was really out of it. And this is like, I guess, the first like real recollection she's having after
Mm-hmm.
grabbing
Wow.
the knife. And she's trying to drive, so she throws the appendage in her hand away out the window near the 7-Eleven where they sell hot dogs, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when she went to her job but couldn't get in and threw the knife in the trash. Thankfully, Lorena was acquitted.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Our girl.
Yes. She was found not guilty due to the irresistible impulse defense.
Mm-hmm.
But because she was charged with malicious wounding and she was able to be not guilty because of the irresistible impulse defense, she did have to go to a mental institution for 45 days. So I guess she was a little confused why she was still getting put in handcuffs and taken somewhere when she was found not guilty. But she had to go to this facility for 45 days, which again, John went on a fucking tour and sold merch, dude.
He needs to be locked away somewhere.
All the shit he did to her, and then she has to go to this facility and be evaluated, which, like, I understand why that's a law, but, like, just the fuck.
Just the lack of, there's no consequences for him at all. Even through all those times, like how many times? Yeah.
He goes on a tour. Like,
he gets rewarded.
He goes on the Howard Stern show. He does all these interviews. People are like, "You're riding horses. Does that hurt?" Like,
I hope it does.
Can you still have sex? Like, everyone's just so infatuated with, like, the sensation of, like, she cut his dick off and just, like, so wrapped up in that.
Right.
The whole story of, like, the domestic violence part of it totally got lost in the media. Like, it was such a moment where they could have talked about that, you know, and brought light to it. And it's so disappointing that they passed it.
Right. They went down that route for sure.
Yeah. And a lot of the female journalists, too, were saying that they were trying to bring that part of the story to their bosses, saying, "Oh, no one's like gotten the behind, like, why did she do it?" That part of the story. And their bosses, all the editors, were men, and they were like, no one's interested in that.
Oh my gosh, I bet so many people would have loved to know more about that, even though it was televised and stuff. Clearly that side of the story wasn't getting out, and because it's like, it's like you want to hear the why, you know,
right?
And it's a pretty crazy why. So
she did end up getting a lot of support while she was during her trial. She did end up getting a lot of support from the Latin community. I guess it started getting around to the Latin radio stations, like the racial comments that he had made to her, and just like the treatment that she endured from him overall. And people were calling into the stations to like offer rides to other Hispanic people from like the big metropolitan areas around there, because they couldn't take the bus and like the train and stuff out there. So yeah, the Latin community like really came together and were like offering each other rides out to Manassas, and there were hundreds of people outside the courthouse for her. Like,
wow.
Every day in support. And I don't think it was at the beginning of the trial, but at some point during the trial, they were all out there for her. And she said that meant so much to her too. So that was cool to see.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about John and like what he did after, because he fucking sucks. So I'll just kind of like quickly run through it. He did catch some battery charges later, a couple times.
Okay.
He did very short, I think a very short stint, like 15 days in jail.
How do they get away with this? Sorry.
He also did 2 porn videos because he wanted to let women know it still worked, and got a botched dick job. He used some of the money that was raised from Howard Stern to extend his penis. Okay. And they fucked it up.
Oh, what a shame.
And
I
that's when he
mean, how
did.
can, if any more fucked up than it already was, it's been cut off. Like,
Yeah.
yikes.
Right.
Hmm. Well, that's so horrible. What a shame.
Also, I want to say absolutely fuck Howard Stern.
I
He
know.
did like a bunch of interviews, I guess, with or it seemed like at least did some interviews with John.
Right.
At one point he said he doesn't buy that John was raping Lorena, and he said something along the lines of, she's not that pretty anyways. She's got a lot of pimples.
Oh my gosh. What?
And there's never been a public apology from him for
That's
that.
disgusting. Oh my gosh. That's wild. Yeah,
Yeah.
he sucks too.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, I think he's changed his like public persona a ton. Like he doesn't do the over the top, like, because no
Mm-hmm.
one likes that shit anymore. It's not
Right. It
cute.
wasn't okay then. Well, I
Mm-mm.
mean, yeah, it definitely wasn't okay then.
Parts of it
People just
definitely
accepted it.
weren't. Yeah.
Yeah. But
But
gosh.
what a gross thing to say. I don't
Yeah.
believe her. First of all, it's disgusting in its own right. But to say she's not that pretty anyway, so you wouldn't rape her, like,
That's gross. Well,
abhorrent.
I thought he was dead, so.
Amazing. Okay, last little bit I'm gonna say about this fuckhead.
Mm-hmm.
One of his girlfriends after Lorena was interviewed on the documentary, and he severely beat her, held her over the balcony, which like people actually saw, and I guess no one called the cops, brought her inside, repeatedly raped her, and told her that she was his Lorena now,
Oh my
and that
gosh.
she and no one that he's ever been with will ever escape him. He then tortured her for 3 days. So she
Oh
played
my.
dead so that he would leave her alone. And he got to the point where he was like trying to wake her up and she's playing dead, so he couldn't. So
Mm-hmm.
then he grabs the sheets, wraps her up in sheets, and when he opened the door, she got up and ran.
Oh my. Wow.
And I'm assuming that that's one of the things he got the charges for. But
Just battery though?
I think so.
Oh, wow. This guy should not be
Yeah.
in society.
Not at all.
He
Yeah.
is a danger.
For sure. Yeah.
Wow. That is crazy.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The done with him. I hate him. I never want to talk about that man again.
Right. Bye.
Lorena has, since this happened, she's struggled with her trauma for some time, and then she ended up going to domestic violence shelters and started sharing her story there. And she said every time she shared it, it got a little bit easier to talk about it and to face it. And ever since then, she has been helping out at at domestic violence shelters. She does interviews still, even though she knows that they're going to make jokes out of it, because she says it's worth it if she can shed a little bit of light onto the domestic violence situation of it. And she's just a huge advocate for women and domestic violence. And
That's awesome. Yeah.
it's cool to see her be able to make something good out of this horror that she had to endure.
Oh my gosh. Such like a major part of her life, like a defining part of her life, really. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Whew.
And that's that.
That was a wild ride.
Yeah.
Thank you for the research and for telling me the story because
Yeah.
that is crazy. I did not know. I thought she cut it off because he was like cheating on her. I had no idea it was like this whole abuse situation like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
They buried
crazy. Oof. Yeah.
I recommend watching the documentary. It
I
is a
want
good
to.
watch.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. You said it's on Netflix.
Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon. Okay, cool. But we'll do a quick little palate cleanser. I mean, there's scandal amidst in the Taylorverse right now. There's some scandals.
There are, yeah, we did see the Blake and Taylor text.
Been
Personally, I don't care.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, we've all been talking like, I cannot imagine if our texts were released to the public. It would actually be hilarious, but we would be canceled. We would be canceled.
I mean, if calling a man a bitch gets you canceled,
which apparently it does.
Yeah, wow.
Apparently it does. Yep.
There's not a lot of Taylor stuff. Yeah, so we have. Did you see the rest of the documentary?
I did actually. Yep, I just watched it these past couple days. Oh my gosh, I was crying.
Sobbing.
Dude, when she's talking about like she sings Never Grow Up and stuff.
Oh my God, to her family?
To her family in there. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is too much. Not too much though. It was great. I love it. I just was so emotional.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad I saved those 2 episodes in my back pocket to watch. So
something we never talked about was how she confirmed in the documentary that there were 2 breakups. I think it was like episode 1. She said during the Eras tour, I went through 2 breakups. And it just like, I mean, we knew, but like hearing it confirmed. Because like the ratty Healy of it all was like a little bit like, did it happen? Didn't it? Like we know it did. But like.
Right. That
just
was
hearing
definitely
it confirmed was something. Yeah.
Yeah. Straight from the horse's mouth, as they say. Yeah, because we've never heard her. Like, imagine
acknowledge it
and acknowledge it exactly.
A whole album.
What a
31 songs.
Yeah, I wonder just like in an alternate timeline, if like her and Maddie worked out or something. Like we would have such a different.
Oh my gosh!
Everything would we have Life of a Showgirl like that? What would have that docuseries been like?
It would be tortured poets for the rest of our lives. Like I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm so glad we got Trav.
Same.
She got Trav. It's like it's inspo for me as a single girly. Like he's
like, I'm
always
so glad we got him, and you're like, she got him. It's like no, we got him.
We did. He's such a hype man for her, and she's the same for him. And you know what? It's inspired me. I'm like, if it ain't that, if whoever I'm talking to isn't listening to every single episode of my podcast, eating it up, they're not hyping me up. If they're not sharing my reels, like,
right? No,
we're done.
We need that kind of support in our lives for sure.
We do.
Everyone should have a partner that gets excited for you and celebrates with you and all that.
Well, hopefully things ramp up soon. I don't know what that looks like. Like they're probably planning a wedding.
Right? Yeah.
But she also was doing the Eras tour when she wrote the last album, so
who knows? I'm just saying, I wonder what this next album will be. But I guess we'll have to wait a while. Which is fine.
My gosh. Is she gonna write her own song to walk down the aisle to? And are we gonna get that? Sorry.
Right? Yeah.
That's so weird. That's so weird of me to say.
It's all good. Hey, I think it's okay to wonder, like, what dress is she gonna wear? What food are they gonna serve? Like, what color will she have bridesmaids? Who will her bridesmaids be?
And will we see it? And it's okay if we don't. That's okay.
Right. I totally get it. But
100%. But wouldn't mind it either.
That's it for today's episode of Crimenelia Street. You can follow us on Instagram at Crimenelia Street or on TikTok at Crimenelia ST Podcast. You can check out our YouTube channel at Crimenelia Street Podcast, and feel free to send us an email with any feedback or episode ideas to crimeliast@gmail.com. Bye, clowns.
Bye, clowns.